Hey everyone, this is Kitty Clinical here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about why ALTEs, or the apparent life-threatening events in newborns, peds, is not a precursor to sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. So if you don't know, ALTE is the broader term that also encompasses, the same up-to-date article as BRUE, or Brief Resolved Unexplained Events. We're in that same kind of umbrella here, and we're talking about the common misconception that ALTE was once thought to be a possible precursor to SIDS because prior ALTE events were reported in SIDS victims. In fact, according to the data, it showed that about 5% was reported in 5% of SIDS victims, and early anecdotal reports describe SIDS in infants with recurrent apnea. But it seems like the data just isn't there because the vast majority of SIDS victims don't actually experience any previous apnea or BRUEs. And also, studies over the past 2 decades have failed to confirm a causal relationship between pre-existing apnea and SIDS. So there's a few things to know about this, and I will pull up the data right now. Over 80% of SIDS deaths occur between midnight and 6 a.m., whereas 82% of ALTE episodes occur between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. The peak incidence of ALTE is during the first 2 months of life, whereas the peak incidence of SIDS is between 2 and 4 months of age. Interventions to prevent SIDS, such as making the baby sleep supine, maybe making sure they don't have a hat on, have not really resulted in a decreased incidence of ALTE. Furthermore, risk factors for both SIDS and ALTE differ. They showed that in one prospective population-based study, prone sleeping, lack of breastfeeding, and maternal smoking, those were all risk factors for SIDS, but behavioral characteristics were risk factors for ALTE. So that includes previous episodes of apnea, pallor, cyanosis, or feeding difficulties. Prematurity and low birth weight are much stronger risk factors for SIDS than they are for ALTE, although you can see those two things as technically risk factors for both of those conditions. But they're saying ALTE is not really likely to be a predictor of SIDS because ALTE refers to a heterogeneous group of problems with different causes and severities ranging from benign to near fatal. Moreover, the case definition in ALTE or BRUE depends upon observations by the parent or caregiver, which, we don't really know exactly how accurate of a story these parents are giving. I know they care, they love their son or daughter very much, but they're coming at it from their own biases, right? They have their own, not that they're trying to, obscure the data or, not give you all the information that you need as a practicing physician, but they're obviously not going to see the full picture because they're only seeing what they know, and their intuition, their background, their upbringing is going to give them their own sense of what the event was that happened, and they're going to have their own set of beliefs, their own culture, and your job as the physician is to put everything into perspective and be professional and explain to them what your findings are and see if you can kind of come to an understanding with them about what is going on. And you got to explain to them, hey, what happened here was brief, it was resolved, it's unexplained, or maybe it was an apparent life-threatening event. We don't know exactly what the details are because, science can only give us so much information. I mean, it's 2023, and yet we have basically put all of these unknown diagnoses in the umbrella of BRUE, which is, it is in a way its own umbrella term for, like, we don't know exactly what it is. So we give it this term called BRUE to make it sound like it's a meaningful diagnosis, when in reality we don't really know for sure what it was because it's resolved, it's unexplained, But there's no point in worrying about it now because it already happened. We can obviously monitor the baby overnight, give them 24-hour, maybe even 48-hour telemetry if you want. And if everything comes back normal, then there's nothing to really do. But you got to explain this to the family in such a way that it is empathetic and also shows that you know what you're saying. Your confidence is a big part of these conversations with family. But yeah, it's been shown that the parent or caregiver stories may be unreliable, at least in several of the studies that there are. So if you're I mean, I'm not gonna put a laundry list of links and I mean, I've done it in the past few videos where I've put a bunch of articles and links. But this is all stuff from we've all, I'm sure you've talked about or you've heard about it in your pediatric studies. If you have any questions at all, don't be afraid to ask them in the comments below. And please subscribe to my channel if you like my content. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.